Okay, next up in the list is BrittNay. So BrittNay, this one is for you. We're going to go over your character sheet and do kind of a character review. Talk about all the different things your character is able to do mechanically. We're not going to get into role playing too much in this, but what things are you able to do and not able to do? Maybe kind of clarify some rules of the different skills that you have. So without further ado, we'll get in and go over a level 3 human variant noble fighter. What kind of fighter are you? Champion fighter. So just as I mentioned in Japaco's video, I mentioned this all, if you want to open your character sheet, anytime you get to your token, and I made it kind of large just so we can see it here, is just right click and you'll have this open character. So you right click on your token, you can say open character, all right? Or you can, if you want, you can just hold down Alt on your keyboard and double click, okay? And then either way, it'll open your character sheet. And that helps you from having to navigate between the chat window and the journal, and chat window and journal, and going back and forth. You can just open up your character sheet there. Remember, you can pop it out and display it on another monitor if you wanted to. And incidentally, this is fairly new for this particular character sheet. You can actually print it, and it will come out as not the most organized, but it'll have all of your features and traits right there. So if when we play in person, if you want to have this, go for it. All right. All right, so what things can you do? Obviously, you can hit somebody with a great axe, and you can hit somebody with a hand axe. The great axe is the, in the image that we chose for you, that two-handed big mofo axe. The hand axe is, kind of like your normal chopping wood axe that you can throw in combat, or you can slash them. If you were to lose your great axe or whatever, you'd have these other two axes. So you are axed up, all right? So yeah, you just simply click on any of those, and then in the chat window, you'll see your attack roll. Actually, on that one, you crit. That's awesome. And then you would do some extra damage because you crit, so on and so forth. We'll talk about this Great Weapon Master and this -5 here in a second, but that's these here. So these global modifiers are here. You'll have to turn those on and off as necessary. Okay. So let's talk about your different skills that you have, or features and traits that are on your character sheet. So first off, we'll have Second Wind. Okay, so I think this is once per short rest. Yep, once per short or long rest, you can heal yourself 1d10 plus your fighter level. Okay, so you're a level 3, so you would heal 1d10 plus 3. So you can use that once per rest. If you do use it, just simply come over to your resource and drop that down to 0. And don't forget your short rest and long rest buttons. If you do take a short rest, which is 1 hour, or a long rest, which is 8 hours with sleep, then you would choose either one of those buttons and all of the stuff would reset, including your hit points and your hit die and all this other stuff. So keep that in mind. While we're here, it reminded me you do have Goggles of Night. So if you come over to your journal and you look for treasure and items, magic item descriptions, Goggles of Night, you'll see here that these have 1 charge. You can expend that charge, grant you yourself or the wearer dark vision, which allows darkness to be dim and dim light to be bright within a range of 60 feet, and it lasts for an hour. And if you already have dark vision, it increases it by an additional 60 feet. Okay, so that's your Goggles of Night. So you only get to use that once per day. The charge is replenished every day at dawn. So at dawn, you can hit your long rest button. If you used it, it would drop this 0 to a 1. Okay. Oop. Apparently you can mouse wheel on that too. All right. Good to know. All right. So that's Second Wind and Goggles of Night. Moving down, you have Fighting Style Defense. And this just simply says, if you're wearing any kind of armor, add 1 to your AC. The key here is you have to be wearing it. And when wouldn't you be wearing armor? Obviously, you would wear it all the time, right? Well, unfortunately, if you're going to take a short or long rest and go to sleep, you have to doff your armor. You have to take it off, because if you have heavy armor, which you do, and or even medium armor, if you try to sleep in medium or heavy armor, you're not going to get a full night's sleep. So you normally would want to take that off to completely get your full hit dice back, all your hit points back, and any levels of exhaustion kind of refreshed. Okay, so you don't want to sleep with your heavy armor on, so you'd be taking it off. So let's say in the middle of the night, you know, your DM is an asshole, and a bunch of zombies come in and attack you at the middle of the night. Well, you don't have your armor on, so you have to come in here and uncheck chainmail, and because you're not wearing armor, you have to uncheck the global AC modifier to reduce your AC, and now your AC is only 9. You're really easy to hit, by the way. So that's why it's important to make sure you take the 10 minutes to put on your chainmail every morning, because now you're going to have an AC of 17. And if you wanted to go with a one-handed weapon, you could add a shield, and then your AC would be even higher. It'd be 19. So you'd be pretty hard to hit. But you lose that extra damage that great axe and that very thematic lady has in common. Pretty cool. You do have a position of privilege, and man, are you playing this one well. You are of noble birth, and you think very highly of yourself. But so do the commoners, right? Like, they don't really question whether or not you belong in a specific area. They deem that you do know that where you're supposed to be and that you do actually belong there. And they actually avoid, unless you're being a jerk and like maybe trying to feed them to a Nothic, they don't question you, and they try their best to not displease you. They don't want your displeasure bestowed upon them. Do you really have that air of nobility about yourself? Great Weapon Master. We'll hold off on that one. We'll come into Action Surge next. Once per turn, you can take this Action Surge to allow yourself to do a whole other action. And this comes into play because it's an action, not a bonus action, okay? But it's kind of neat when combined with Great Weapon Master. So once per turn, if you wanted to, after you're done taking all of your actions, you can, or, you know, I guess you would wait until your action is done. You can surge and take another action. So let's say you hit somebody and they go down with your great axe. You can action surge and hit them again. So you can hit twice. But with Great Weapon Master, it's even cooler. Okay, so let's talk about, let's actually double down on this, because this plays into Great Weapon Master as well. You have improved critical, so you get a crit on a 19 or a 20. You don't have to roll a 20 anymore. Get a crit. If you roll a 19, you crit. And remember, if you crit, you get double damage die. And we have our own little house rule on that, where that second die is max. Okay, but so you crit, right? So think of Great Weapon Master. Now, what does that really mean? You can choose, it's a couple of different things, but we'll start with the one here. You can choose a penalty to hit. So right now, your 2 hit is +5. So you roll a d20 and you add 5 to it. You can take a penalty to subtract 5 from it. So you add 5, subtract 5. So it's just your, whatever the 20 roll, d20 is. And if you want to take that penalty, you'll do an extra 10 of damage. Pretty cool, right? So when would you want to use this? You wouldn't want to use it on an enemy that's full plate armored up with a shield, you know, and a helmet with, you know, all that, like, geared up. You don't want to go after Geardo with your Great Weapon Master. But maybe a goblin that's wearing light armor, you know, he's probably going to be pretty easy to hit. So maybe that's when you say, I want to use my Great Weapon Master. So how would you use it? Mechanically, you're going to come here and make sure these boxes are checked. And if you don't want to use it, you're going to come here and make sure both of those are unchecked. It's never one or the other. It's always both. Okay, both on or both off. Okay. All right, so that's pretty cool. But here's the other cool thing: if you crit, you can take a bonus action to make another melee attack. Okay, so let's go through this. Right. And if you drop a creature down to 0 hit points, you could also take that use your bonus action to make another melee attack. So let's play with the Great Weapon Master. Let's turn it on. We're fighting a goblin who has an AC of 11. You're going to hit him with your great axe. You got an 11 minus 5. You were to miss. Okay, so no worries. Next turn, you come around, you hit him with the great axe. Man, you're rolling like crap. You're not even rolling. Let's say you had advantage, okay? And you rolled on this one. You rolled a 19. So we'll take a look at this one. I didn't mean to hit this one, so let me hide that one. Okay. So you have you rolled a 19, which means you crit. Okay. You take a -5 to the from your hit as a penalty to your hit, but you crit. So it doesn't matter. You crit, you hit. Okay, so the -5 penalty is gone. You do the extra 10 of damage because of Great Weapon Master. Then you rolled your D12. You rolled a 12 on this particular case, which is kind of cool. So you get a 12 plus 3. That's your normal axe damage. But then you do another 12 because you crit. So on that one hit, you did 37 damage. Okay, but because you crit, you can take your bonus action to hit him again. Okay, so let's say you hit again, and you got 21 minus 5, you hit again, doing another 23 of damage. So in total, you got what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 damage in one turn. That's insane amount of damage. Now, obviously, this is conditional. You'll have to have crit. And if you crit on the second one too, you would have done even more damage. You did another 12 damage there. So that you could be pretty unstoppable with the way you're building this class is pretty awesome. With the Great Weapon Master, the Action Surge, and the improved... Oh, we didn't even Action Surge on this. I'm sorry. So in this scenario, you crit, did all this damage, but because you crit, you can use your bonus action to make a weapon attack. And then you Action Surge and make yet another Great Axe, and you hit again, doing another 24 damage. So you did 84 damage in one turn. That's insane. Obviously very situational, and you wouldn't want to do this on very armored people. But that's kind of your character here. Pretty awesome stuff. So hopefully that was informative. You don't have any spells, do you? No, you don't have any spells. So we don't need to get into any spells. So I really hope you enjoyed that one. I really enjoyed just going through that. I really hope to see that in game. You know, fighting, you know, maybe a big bad evil monster that has, you know, maybe a good big pool of hit points, and you just take 80 right off the get-go and maybe even kill it in one turn. That would be a pretty epic moment. Obviously, it's very situational. You'll have to crit, but you do crit much more often than anyone else. You have a 1 in 20% chance more than anyone else, I guess. I don't know. Do the math, but you have 2 in 20, which is what I don't know, whatever. You got a 10% chance to crit, let's say, which is pretty cool. All right. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. My only last tip for you is just to make sure before we go and actually sit down to play, just review your character sheet. Go through all these things that, you know, this is a great video for now, but as you level up, you're going to have to review other things and keep those fresh in your mind. So when we sit down to play, you have them ready to go, and you're not like thumbing through like, what can I do? What can I do? Not that you're doing it. I'm just saying that's a good practice to do. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see everyone else in the next video when we go for Grick. We're going to go through Grick's character sheet next. He's one of the more complicated ones, so that one's probably going to take a little longer, but awesome. We'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching.